Hey, I'm Jayla Blue. I play for Tennessee, and this is No Playbook Podcast.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the show. This is the podcast featuring the outstanding athletes, coaches, and experts from East Tennessee. Another episode in our Knoxville Soccer Spotlight series, I guess. Doing a lot of these this summer. We've got Jayla Blue on the podcast, Bearden star, committed to Tennessee. She's going to be joining the Lady Vols this coming up fall. Also, this summer, she is a big part of 865 Alliance, the WPSL squad here in Knoxville, and she talks a lot about that. I'm the announcer for the team, so I got to witness Jayla this past weekend score 4 goals against the team from Jackson. So that was a great intro to watching her play. Just putting so many in the back of the net. This episode is sponsored by Stinnett Collision. If you're in need of automotive repair, give them a call. Again, Stinnett Collision, locations in Sevier County and Maryville. I'll get to Jayla Blue right after this. Sit tight.
Hi, I'm Zach Stinnett, third-generation owner of Stinnett Collision. As a proud supporter of Tennessee athletics, we know that every game counts. When a collision puts you out of play, we're here to get you back in the game. Family owned since 1965, Stinnett Collision now has locations in Maryville and Sevierville. With double the space and a team of certified technicians, we'll tackle your repairs and get you back on the road in no time. Don't let a collision sideline you. Visit Stinnett Collision today.
How's it going?
Good. How's it going?
Very good. Thank you so much for joining the show, Jayla.
Yes, of course.
Of course, it was very cool. My first time getting to watch you. You put 4 in the back of the net this weekend.
Really?
How was it?
It was good. It was my first game, but I've played with the girls before, so it was really fun to get to play with them again and see some familiar faces.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
now you scored 4 goals. Liv scored 3.
Mhm.
And there towards the end, she was still firing away. I mean, you guys
Mhm.
were up 9-0 and she's still,
Mhm. Yeah.
really trying to put more in. Was there any kind of little on-field rivalry, like who's going to get more?
No, I think we're both really hungry players to score, and so our coach was like, just let them loose, and so we were like, all right, and so we kind of just were firing at the keeper and testing the team.
Yeah. And for
Mhm.
the record, the score might not suggest it, but that keeper was actually playing a really good match.
Mhm. Yes, she was. She was all over the field. She was using her feet too.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I felt a little bad for that young lady just because like the score didn't reflect it, but like she made a lot of really good saves.
Yes, she did.
So where is your next match for 865 Alliance?
We actually play this weekend, but I'm not gonna be able to play because I'm traveling to North Carolina tomorrow for a showcase that I'm gonna be playing in.
Okay, what's that showcase?
It's the North Carolina Showcase. So my club team, this is our last showcase of the year. We're going to North Carolina and we're playing um, in front of like a bunch of coaches. It's one of the biggest showcases of the year, and it's good because we'll get some more coaches to see some teammates that aren't committed, and yeah.
That's a pretty cool concept is, you're obviously already committed, but some of your teammates are not. Do
Mhm.
you go into those games like looking to set them up for opportunities?
Yes, definitely. So we have some really good talent on our team, and so hopefully this last showcase will just kind of like boost their confidence and get them seen a little bit more. Um, but definitely for me, now with being committed, is trying to get the attention of the U.S. team. Because they still do come and watch our games, and so if I can just get their attention, then that's something I definitely like to do.
Yeah. So, and I didn't put this on the notes of questions for you, but when you're looking at something like the US team, I would imagine you've got something in your game that you really recognize you might need to work on. Is there something specifically that you're dedicated to improving?
No, yeah, definitely. Something that I'm trying to improve on is my percentage. So, like, if I'm shooting 5 times in a game, how many of those times am I finishing? Am I finishing 4 out of the 5 or 2 out of the 5? So, if even if I get 2 shots off of the whole game, I have to finish those 2 shots. So, definitely my percentage.
Okay, so it's specifically your shots on goal, I guess.
Yes, and my
Okay.
percentage in finishing.
Yeah. Is it ball placement specifically, um, or power or anything like that? Like what's going to help you achieve that better percentage?
Definitely just working outside of practice. I try and go shoot at a field 2, 3 times a week. Um, and just like watching the ball hit the back of the net because it translates into the game. Trying to finish more inside the 18 because that's the higher percentage for me right now. And that's where I get the ball the most. And so if I can get inside the 18 and beat the player 1v1, it should be 100% finishing.
Got it.
Mhm.
So now, I do want to talk about your commitment to Tennessee, but as somebody that is definitely a goal scorer, do you come in on the front end going like, I'm coming for Jada Thomas and trying to get that record?
Definitely. Records are meant to be broken. So, um, you know, it'd be awesome to break a record at Tennessee. That's definitely a goal of mine. Um, but I don't think I'm trying to be anyone. I think I'm just trying to go in and be me and play like Jayla does and um, do me.
Yeah. So, I love to hear stories about commitment and your whole recruiting experience and kind of what was the deciding factor for you choosing Tennessee.
Yeah. So the recruiting process, it was really fun for me. The beginning, I got to play in front of hundreds and hundreds of coaches. I built great relationships with each and every one of them. And having to like talk to them and call them was just so cool for me. And then I feel like I struggled more towards the end where I was like deciding like what schools I was narrowing it down with, because I had built great relationships, and then I was telling them like, "Hey, I'm narrowing my decisions down, and you guys aren't on the table anymore, but thank you," and all this stuff. So that was really hard, but I still talk to some of the coaches. They're great. Some deciding factors with Tennessee was definitely staying close to home, community, my family, um, because within the last month, deciding where I was wanting to go, I was in a dark place. And so if I was in a dark place 10 hours away or more from my house, then and didn't have community to, kind of lift me up, then I feel like that was really hard for me. So I did decide to stay closer and go to Tennessee.
How much did Big Sis play into that?
she she played a pretty good role in that, pretty big role. I love playing with my sister. She is a defender and I play forward. So, I mean, we work pretty well together. She stops people from scoring and I score on everyone. So,
Score on everyone. That's a good
everyone. Yes.
episode title. Um, has there been a keeper that you've faced that is just super frustrating?
Um, I don't think necessarily the keepers. If anything, maybe a defender or two, but that's probably from when I was having a bad game or something.
Yeah. I liked when I had Nyla on her talking about just even strategy specifically to um, how to stop those fantastic or super fast strikers, what to do. Is there anything that you've kind of learned at your position um, that's helped you improve about
Hmm.
the position specifically?
Uh, Definitely, yeah. I've played every position, so it's kind of like I learned something from each position, so I got to see what it's like from each point of view. But specifically, being a striker, you have to be relentless. You have to want to score. You have to want to put the ball in the back of the net. Some plays you have to be selfish and take the ball, and um, but when you do, you have to make something out of every play, whether it's sending a through ball, doing a 1-2, checking off, or even finishing the ball in the back of the net. You just have to make something happen. But something that people like to knock on strikers is that they can make as many mistakes as they want. And unlike a defender, if a defender makes a mistake, it could lead up to a goal. But um, mistakes are something that helped me grow in the game of soccer because which I'm very thankful for mistakes because that means that's an area I can grow in. And if when people start to realize that, I feel like that's when people mature and start to get better. you either make excuses or make progress. You can't do both. So I like to make progress out of all my mistakes.
There you go.
Mhm.
Um, and by the way, I was thinking of something when you were talking about those relationships, and it kind of hurt to tell some folks, sorry, your school is off the table. And not suggesting this is going to be a deal for you, but when I had Luch, um,
Mhm.
Latino on the podcast, she had a really interesting perspective just because she transferred from Penn State. And
Yeah.
just talking about because all of those relationships from the initial recruiting process, she had those to when she realized it was time to move on, she had those to reach back on. So those are good to still nurture if those relationships.
Yes, I definitely agree. I still have great connections with a lot of the coaches. They're amazing, and I'm very grateful for the process that they brought me through.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd love to hear when you mentioned about getting recognized by the national team. What does that process even look like? So let's say they watch you at this showcase this weekend and they're like, "Whoa, this young lady's fantastic." How does that work?
So actually, I've gotten called up to the two of the camps, the U.S. camps. So um, now for me, there's no tryouts because at the beginning there was tryouts to see if who they wanted on the team, and so I was not selected to be on the team. So now what I can do is going into these showcases or into like big games, especially with nationals coming up. All I can do is finish and just put on a great show for them because they can come watch. They usually sit at the half line and with the U.S. hat on or something, and they'll just watch and then they'll pick up or they'll call me and let me know if they want me to come play for them, and I can decide if I want to or not.
That's very cool. I didn't realize
Hmm.
that. I like hearing that. So now, Jayla, what is something that very few people know about you?
Um, I like to organize. If I usually organize my mom's pantry or my mom's fridge a lot. Um, I like to clean because I don't know, it just helps me relax kind of. I wouldn't say I have any hobbies really. I just train for soccer and watch a lot of film. But outside of that, I do like to organize, whether it's my room, my mom's pantry, or the fridge.
Yeah. What's
Hmm.
something that you watch that's not sports related?
Um, I like watching documentaries. Yeah, that's I like to watch. I've watched like The Last Dance, which I guess is sports related, but I'm just like sports, I guess. So.
I was talking to somebody about The Last Dance last night. A guy was,
Hmm.
I was at the Knoxville Smokies game, and they're connected to the Cubs, Chicago, yada yada. And I
Yeah.
was talking, and the guy hadn't heard of it. I'm like, oh my God, you gotta go watch it tonight.
Yeah, it's so good.
Absolutely. So now, one question everybody gets: share with me an unforgettable sports memory for you. Something when you're 80 years old, you can close your eyes and picture it perfectly.
Um, Definitely an unforgettable experience is probably when I got to play in the Continental Attire National Selection Game in St. Louis. Um, it was really cool to play in that because I was surrounded by like-minded people, and the girls, they're all so nice, and we all just got to play in front of almost every coach, and even like US coaches were there. It was It was definitely a special night for me, scoring 4 goals too in front of all those coaches, and we all got to celebrate together, and my teammates were there to celebrate, and it was definitely just a really cool experience that I won't ever forget.
It's awesome. I love hearing about
Mhm.
those. What about, and I'm just curious, I'll let you go, but as you're coming in as an upcoming freshman at UT, how much interaction have you gotten already with some of the other, soon to be freshmen?
Yeah, I've met quite a few of them actually. I've met Mimi, I've met Olivia, I've met Claire, and I kind of met Ella. So I've met a good bit of them. But from what I've like seen and heard from them, I've been texting them here and there. But they're like, I love my class. They're all so sweet, and um, I'm so excited to get onto the field with them. And I'm actually playing one of my teammates weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
Mhm. Yes,
That's
she plays
great.
for Sting, so I'm excited.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, and anybody listening, if you haven't made it out to Hardin Valley to watch 865 Alliance, these young ladies put on such a show, and it's a really cool opportunity because, I mean, your team has got so many Lady Vols, people from
Hmm.
Tennessee Tech, ETSU, Clemson, I think. Uh,
Hmm.
so Georgetown now. So
Yes.
a lot of great talent.
Yes, definitely.
All right. That's good. Thank you so much. It'll be a couple weeks, and I'll have this out, and I'll tag you and all that good stuff.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Have a good one. See
You
ya.
too.